Herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Let's Play von Kingdome Deliverance. Alpha 0.3 ist draußen. Ja, und ich freue mich auf den neuen Inhalt, insbesondere das Schlösserknacken. Und ja, wir spielen jetzt sogar erstmalig in 4K Auflösung, alles auf Ultra hoch. Und ja, dann wollen wir mal schauen, wie mein neues System das schafft. Und genießen hier diese wunderbare Cry Engine. Ja, man sieht oben rechts die Frames. Ist auf jeden Fall grenzwertig. Aber es, ja, ein bisschen schliert's nach.
You're an ass, the like of which the world has never seen.
Quiet. The neighbors will hear you.
Let them hear. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Ärger im Paradies. Was hat er denn zu sagen?
What would you expect? It's as dead as the grave here. And a good thing, too. It's quiet, and that's the main thing. The only thing bothering me is Jerry. He ate something that was off, and now he's got the notion the innkeeper poisoned him.
Who is this Jerry, and what happened to him anyway?
I don't know. Jerry's a farmer who lives across the street beyond the village green. He got a dose of the runs, and he claims it's because the innkeeper poisoned him. I reckon, though, he drank sour milk or some such. But what's it got to do with me, anyway?
Suppose I look into it and try to figure it out.
And how do you propose to do that? But why am I even asking? Do what you can, lad. If you pull it off, it will be a thorn out of my side, and I'm not stingy like that Jerry, so you won't regret it.
You look a bit down, bailiff. Is something up?
A bailiff's lot is not a happy one, you know. Everybody's problems come down on my head. And my problems, on my head too.
Can I help you?
Now I think of it, actually you can. But it's a private matter. You have to promise to keep it to yourself.
Certainly. I'll be quiet as the grave. What's up?
Well, I had a little drink with our merchant. I'm no drunk, let's get that clear. But naturally, one has an obligation to toast a successful deal.
Naturally.
And this morning, I woke up on the porch and, somehow my keys were missing.
So you want me to go looking for your keys?
The main thing is I have to get into my house and my trunk.
I have a few questions.
Ask.
Where do you have your keys?
On a chain around my neck. I carry them everywhere with me. They're a sort of mark of office, you see.
What's the last thing you remember?
The last thing? I recollect sitting with the merchant in the tavern and, celebrating that deal.
And then?
Then it's a bit fuzzy. I woke up soaked to the skin at home on the porch where my wife dragged me.
She wasn't too happy, I suppose.
You bet. And when she found out I didn't have my keys, she gave me hellfire.
Sure, I understand.
Very good.
You can kick the door in and break open the trunk, can't you?
I could, of course. But since I spread it all over the village that I have a lock on my house, it wouldn't do much good for my reputation. And the trunk is an antique I inherited from Granddad. I'm not that desperate to open it.
Naja,
Very well, I understand.
sehr bedächtig, ja.
Couldn't the blacksmith help you?
Maybe. Only I don't want it to get around, you understand? Nobody knows yet, and I'd like it to stay that way.
But I could ask, couldn't I?
You could, but for Christ's sake, don't mention anything about me.
What's in your trunk?
Never mind.
Ah, zu neugierig. Okay.
I have no more questions. I'll get to work on it.
So. Ja, schade, ein bisschen zu wenig Frames. Ich hoffe, die machen hier irgendwie performance-technisch noch ein bisschen was. Ja. Aber toll aussehen tut's ja.
Welcome to my shop. I heard you and Bailiff were making merry. And how? My head is still aching. What's it to you? Well, I'm just curious about what goes on here. Yeah, that was quite a spree. We just struck a deal and we went to have a drink on it according to custom. And, well, things got a little wild. And what happened then? Aren't you a bit nosy? I don't think the bailiff would be too happy about me telling everyone I meet.
Die Sounds, die hier eingefügt wurden, sind noch Platzhalter. Also da wird auf jeden Fall noch was gemacht. Das waren jetzt teilweise auch Amateursprecher oder einfach nur Sprecher vom eigenen Team. Aber die wollten dann schon mal demonstrieren, dass dann die Atmosphäre gleich ein bisschen dichter wird. Die Lippen werden sich auch noch bewegen später. Ja.
The bailiff himself gave me the task of finding a certain thing he lost that night. So he trusts me, and you should trust me too. You could be right. Very well. It was like this. We were at the tavern, but the booze wasn't much good, so we decided to go for something better. We took a flask of schnapps for the road, and what can I tell you? We'd already had a few shots, and we should have left it at that. You see, when we went out, the bailiff fell off the bridge straight into the creek. And before I knew it, both of us were splashing about in the water. It's all a bit fuzzy after that, but I remember the bailiff wanted to sleep, so he lay down next to the creek. I sat further on by a tree to get my head together, and of course I dozed off. It was the sun that woke me up. I got up right away, and what do I see but the bailiff sitting there where he fell asleep, but painted all over with charcoal and wreaths of nettles on his head. So I picked him up, and we went on. Was it you that did that by any chance? I was really in no condition to weave a wreath from nettles. Do you know if the bailiff had everything? Sorry, but I really didn't search him. Did anyone else go with you? Now and again I saw the bailiff double, but I'm pretty sure it was just the two of us. Fine, thanks for the story. Jesus, don't tell anyone that. Don't worry, you can rely on me.
Jupp, selbstverständlich. Ja, die Grundsachen versteht man, also ich zumindest. Ich hoffe trotzdem, dass es später auf Deutsch erscheint, weil man kriegt ja nur die groben Umrisse mit und nicht die ganzen Feinheiten. Also da ist mein Englisch nicht gut genug für.
What are you about, boy?
What are you doing here?
Me? I thought I might prattle about. Perhaps bake me a cake. Yes, a real big one right here in the forge. Certainly I couldn't be, smithing.
Do you make the locks and keys here?
I used to, but people need tools, horseshoes, and nails more. Why do you ask?
I need to open a certain lock, and I don't have the key.
Yes, that's the trouble with locks. You need a key to open them. So tough luck. Hop it quick before I tell the bailiff there's some tramp hanging around here who wants to rob decent people.
No, that's not how it is at all. I'm not a thief.
Then how is it?
Do I look like some kind of thief? Judge for yourself.
You look like a person who asks funny questions.
Very well. Since you mentioned the bailiff, I'll tell you the truth. It's on account of him I'm asking.
What?
He got drunk the other day and lost the keys from his house, and I'm trying to help him.
You don't say. What a dolt. I'm always saying he's not up to the job, but since it's for his honor, the bailiff, I'll help you.
Thanks.
If you want to deal with a lock, you'll need a lockpick. And by chance, I still have a few here. You can buy them from me if you want. You want me to show you how to use them?
If you would be so kind.
I've got an old chest over there you can try it on. Try poking around in the lock with the pick until you feel the right point where the tumbler is. Now turn the whole lock, but don't stop holding the tumbler with the pick. Easy now, there's no hurry. Not too hard, is it? Go ahead and try it a few more times if you want.
Gut. Spiderweb. Kann ich verkaufen. Dann nehmen wir es mit. So. Okay. Das hat er. Also. Die Lockpits habe ich. Seine Frau kommt schon wieder und will Stress machen.
I'm trying to find those keys and I need to know something.
Indeed, he sends a boy in his place, the chicken shit. Ask away then.
Where did you find your husband?
Don't remind me. I found that fool on the footbridge. The merchant tried to bring him home, but the two of them were hammered.
And did he have the keys then?
I don't know. Probably not, though. That would mean the merchant had taken them, and I don't know why he'd do that.
How come both of you locked the door from the outside?
My husband went to the tavern, and I went to Merkova. When I came home, it was locked, and my husband nowhere to be seen or heard. It was pitch black, so I went to sleep in the hay. And in the morning, when it was still locked, I went looking for that drunken idiot.
That's all I need to know. Thanks.
Haben sie sehr cool gemacht, den Mechanismus vom Schlösser knacken. Man muss die Bewegung ausgleichen mit der Maus. Also man braucht eine ruhige Hand in dem Moment. Schon nicht schlecht. Oh. Jetzt. Ja, komm. Eine faire Belohnung, würde ich sagen, oder?
I managed to open the door and your trunk, too.
That's a weight off my shoulders. My wife was starting to go wild. Here's something for your effort.
That's nothing.
And if you could look around for my keys, I'd be grateful.
Ja, das machen wir auch noch weiter. Ja, und dann würde ich sagen, war das die erste Folge. Und wenn ihr wollt, sehen wir uns in der zweiten Folge wieder. Bis dann.